What's up, everybody? Welcome to the final month of Malc the Fat Kid.
Yep, the countdown is on.
Indeed. And so, to begin, once again, it is double feature month, where we will take a look at two different movies every week. And this week, we're actually have a theme with us, as we are going to decide ourselves, is Ben Affleck the way to go? Is he the correct man to play Batman? So we have taking a look at two films that are both the best case for and against. For the against, or what would be the plaintiff?
Against, yes.
Plaintiff, defendant. We are taking a look at Daredevil. And for, we take a look at The Town. So to start things off, let's talk about Daredevil, which after re-seeing it again, actually kind of surprised me.
It was better than I remember it.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I noticed is, you also gotta remember back then, they were doing Daredevil before they started doing mainstream comic movies, like, you know, before they started mainstreaming, like, the X-Men, if you look back at all those other ones, you didn't have the great cinematic presence that Iron Man, Thor, and all them have nowadays. They kind of perfected it over the years, you know, and now looking at it, they're going to be redoing Daredevil again also.
Yeah, keep in mind, this Daredevil came out just a little bit after the original Spider-Man came out, if I remember correctly.
Well, not the original Spider-Man, because the original Spider-Man came out way back in the day.
Okay, not the one where he's fighting gangsters and
the Tobey Maguire Batman.
That one.
Batman. Gotcha. See, Malcolm quick to respond. Listen.
It's also 1 a.m. Anyway, hey,
you must be lonely. Oh wait, that's only at 3 a.m.
Now, I'm not saying Daredevil isn't without fault, so you guys can relax. You can have your little nitpicks here.
They do a lot of when they do like the old comic book movies, they do this like campy thing with the characters. Like the evil villain, in this case, Daredevil, evil villain is Bullseye, and he does the thing with the jacket, like you see in like the old Adam West Batmans, where he takes his jacket, he's like, and he like runs away.
He's just showing.
No, he's not going woo and doing the strut. But no, it's just
he does have a robe.
it comes off really bad because, you know, it's like, what are they trying to achieve with this? And I mean, you have the wire fu going on.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yes, and hopefully you're not looking for the dragon because it is not there.
But there is also some good in this one too. Like for whatever fault you could say about the movie, you can't really blame Ben Affleck for any of it.
Right.
He really does enter the role quite well, and I like some of the little touches he does, as no pun intended, to play the role of a blind guy. He really pulls it. I thought he really pulled it off well, and little things like his Daredevil voice, for lack of it, I actually really liked it coming from the Christian Bale's Batman voice, where you couldn't tell what he was saying. With Ben Affleck, he got the point across that, you know, don't mess with me, but you could understand what he was talking.
That's right.
And I know that sounds like a little thing, but trust me, after 3 movies, you'll be happy you can understand this Batman.
There's a YouTube phenomenon out there about the Batman thing, the Batman interrogation. It actually was on the news and stuff like that. And they use that point exactly. And, you know, that's what a lot of people hated about the Batman voice. You can't really understand it. It's muffled. You know, you have better luck listening to what people ask you at a drive-thru. Trust me, I'm the fat kid. I know these things.
I also liked how he handled combat. Now, once again, it was a little...
I didn't like, you know, and you can't blame Ben Affleck for the combat either, because that's the fight choreographer. There's like a couple scenes, like, I'm on a ceiling fan and it's going around in circles. The ceiling fan is not made out of bulletproof metal, and these guys are shooting like 45,000 rounds at this guy on a ceiling fan and they can't hit him. Yes, it's a comic movie, I understand. There's one scene where he jumps up, flips back, but then he comes right back like a boomerang and lands right back on the thing. Like, what?
Yeah, but I liked it. And once again, I'm comparing it to the older Batman movies. By older, I mean the previous trilogy. Where the fight scenes, you know, in looking back of it, I'd have to say they weren't that spectacular. Mainly because you're up close a lot and you can barely tell.
I think if you want to use the fight scenes in Daredevil compared to if Ben Affleck could play Batman in a fight sequences of Batman, I think the best scenario to do would be when he fights Elektra in the park and stuff, without the whole jumping on the whole seesaws and stuff like that. But when they're doing the hand-to-hand combat, I think he pulls it off really well, and it shows that he actually tried to learn. He did try learning. He learned like how to like
as much as he could learn with the film's budget.
Right. Learn how to do it. So he pulls it off. Where it's not like it's not sloppy. It's not looking like like he just like went in there and like, all right, this is how you block and this is how you do this and da da da. You don't see like a lot of cuts and stuff like that we do. And some mainstream action movies, you can like if you watch an action movie and you see like a lot of times where they keep switching like the angles and stuff like that. Why they do that is because the actors aren't really fluent in their fights, so they have to keep switching angles because that's where they stop. And all right, now this is how you're going to do this and you do that. You can tell how good an actor is at learning the fight sequences and stuff like that by how long you can go with one angle. And you see that in this movie. They have a lot of exchanges. Granted, it might not seem like a long time, but to get like it down pat in the area you're in can take about a half hour to 2 hours to make sure both people got it down pat before they do it. And that 2 hours span can be like when they finally get it all straightened out, everybody's sure they know what they're doing, can turn into like 5 minutes of filming.
And on top of that, when he wasn't Daredevil, what was his? It's
Matt
not
Murdock.
I almost said Dick Murdoch, but that's a famous wrestler. But when he was Matt Murdock, I could see a little bit of Bruce Wayne. He had a charming side.
That's it, because you see, just like Bruce Wayne, he lives in the slums, and just like Bruce Wayne, he has no parents.
That has nothing to do with charm. He still has charm, which you need to play Bruce Wayne.
And that's not 3 girls sitting in a house.
And I could, just watching him interact with women, I'm just saying, I could see him pulling off the debonair Bruce Wayne role. And
yes, he plays both sides of the spectrum really well. Yeah. And remembering how Daredevil was when I first heard he was being Batman, I'm like, oh god, no. Oh god, no. But a good side of me was like, the Marvel side of me was like, oh, thank God Ben Affleck's doing a DC movie. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Marvel fan. I've always said that. I'm always gonna be behind it. And when he did Daredevil, I was like, oh, really?
Part of me is still shocked that they got because Ben Affleck is a big name here. I'm guessing this is what they're hoping is going to be their answer to Robert Downey Jr. having Ben Affleck there. Even though I don't know.
I don't think Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man can be compared to Ben Affleck being anybody. Robert Downey Jr. personifies, like, if I don't care who you are, if you're going to write the next comic of Iron Man, you're automatically using Robert Downey Jr. as it, because not only does Robert Downey Jr. like engulf the character that he plays to the dot,
very unhealthy,
the pixel, and he's just so good at that character. It's unfathomable.
He was
who would play that character.
He was that character before they offered him the role.
Exactly. That's what made him so great.
Yeah.
And I know that he's got 2 more movies he signed for, which are the Avengers 2 and another one. They say it's gonna be the Avengers 3, but you never know how it works like that. You're signed a contract, so yeah, it could be Avengers 3, or it could be one more Iron Man, or it could just be a cameo where he's Iron Man in another movie and a team up.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to say I was quite shocked going into Daredevil, because I'm going in there with you. I remembered it wasn't good, so I was bracing myself for like this awful experience. But maybe it's because we've survived movies like Sharknado and Scary Movie 5. But after watching, it wasn't bad at all. In fact, I could probably sit down and watch it again later. But it wasn't bad. It was pretty fun. Once again, Colin Farrell I thought was hysterical.
And I think, one of the cool aspects, I think, with this movie that they really did awesome was the echolocation.
Yes.
The CG for that was just amazing. I mean, how they showed you like what it would look like through his eyes and stuff like that. The things they did and how the effects really like pulsated out. Instead of just doing like a whole like weird, stupid, trippy thing, they kind of made it look really cool. And like it was something that you would use like technological helmet to like actually visualize. It was done so well, and you would always like wonder like how would Daredevil actually see, and stuff like that. You read the comic stuff like that, but how do you make it visual? and they did a great job with that.
Yeah, and I like little things they do too, like the whole hyperbolic chamber that he had to sleep in. They don't explain why that is.
Not to be confused with the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
They don't explain why he does that. He's just you sort of like, oh, because of the okay. And
also they used sound to show you why, because when he's in there and you see him in there, it's dead silence, nothing, and then as soon as it opens up, it's like a flood of noise.
But once again, though, there are little things that sort of make you go, wait, that makes no sense. Like, you see him exit the chamber, is because he's sensitive to sound. And what's the first thing he does? He turns on a stereo and blasts it all the way to 70.
And the reason why he does that, Malcolm forgets, is because you can hear the flood of the trains, the cars, everything else. So he turns the radio up so he focuses on just the music, and so it's not a whole bunch of other sounds from outside flooding him.
But once again, since he has like super hearing, then that 70 is actually more like 210. It would cause his ears to bleed or something because he can hear it so well.
We can hear it well, but can he hear it well? Does he have earplugs in? Did he brace himself for it? These are things we don't know. You should have got the extended version. We might have seen something.
Oh, but I did get the edition that's for the visually impaired, which is...
Oh my god, that was awesome.
Daredevil sweeps the leg and the criminal falls down into the subway. He then leans over and looks at him.
It's narrated and it tells you like everything's going on, so, it might be a little offsetting, but if you do have a visually impaired person, and that's a really cool feature in this movie, because once again, here's Daredevil, he's blind. And they take that and they added a feature into a movie that doesn't have... I've never seen on any other movie that would be specific for a person that can relate to Daredevil. And who knows? I mean, maybe there's Braille comics out there of Daredevil and stuff like that people like flock to Daredevil because they relate to him, because like, I'm blind, but look at this guy. He's overcome. He's like a superhero and all this. And it gives you this, a sense that like, hey, look, they're really reaching out to these people.
Yeah. Once again, I have to say, if you're one of the people who's down on this movie, or if you've never seen it before and have been kind of based on what people said, I just want you to once again keep in mind, this is around when Hollywood was just getting the formula, so they do misstep here and there, but it's fine. It's a fun little popcorn flick.
If you take, I want you to do this. Everybody who watches this review, take the Michael Keaton first Batman. Take Daredevil. Compare the two. Don't take George Clooney. Don't take Val Kilmer. Take Michael Keaton, the very first Batman, and compare it to Daredevil. Or you can even take the even worse Batman with Michael Keaton, Batman 2 with the Penguin and all them. I mean, we thought Michael Keaton was like the bomb Batman. You had Val Kilmer come in and you're like, who's this dude? Because Val Kilmer has a permanent smile on his face all the time. It's a little smile, but like, so he's Batman and he's like, he's all like, and he's got a smile. It's like, what? Batman doesn't smile.
And let's keep in mind when even before Michael Keaton, who was like the Batman for the longest time, before that he was doing Beetlejuice.
He still wants to do Beetlejuice 2, which I would love to see.
Going Hawaiian. But yes, so you can't always tell. Like, the best example is Heath Ledger, of course. Who knew he was going to play the Joker as well as he did? But anyway, we're going back to what the purpose of the film is, and that's, of course, Batman. So far, after watching The Best Case Against, I have to say, so far I'm liking Affleck.
Yeah. I have a little more hope for this movie.
Indeed.
And I know if I can hear Batman and understand him, 2 thumbs up right there.
Exactly. And then we head into... The Town, which, by the way, good movie.
It didn't take us long, there's only a couple lights, we got right into town.
But yes, we saw The Town, good movie, I thought.
Yes. And they had a great cast in it. Yeah. And here's a funny thing, you got Ben Affleck who plays Batman, and then you also have James Radner who plays Hawkeye.
Wasn't it Jeremy Renner?
There you go, see?
Okay.
Pulling out the credit man over here who always gets the actors all the time. He hasn't mentioned anybody besides, Ben Affleck, which he usually brings up like all the characters as we talk about a movie, and he hasn't done that, so I had to throw some stuff that way to get him back into his groove. It's the last month, man. We need to show your talent.
Oh, for love of God.
Pump you full of information, people. That's what I'm here for.
I mentioned I like Colin Farrell in the last one.
I know you like Colin Farrell, but I like Colin Farrell.
What did I say?
Colin Farrell.
I said Colin.
You said Holland.
I said Colin.
You said Hall and Oates.
Oh, for the love of God. Okay. So, once again, there are a lot of little things in this one that I liked as far as Batman. Like, for instance, like one I'm sure you won't bring up, but there's a little scene where Ben Affleck is working out, and you get like this 1 second shot of him, and he is freaking ripped.
Oh yeah, I like my superheroes buff, tough, and ready for stuff.
Yeah, Batman needs to be ripped. That's simply.
Yeah, because you always see Batman without his body armor on.
Well, you do actually from time to time, especially in the animated cartoon. Yes, you do.
The animated movie cartoon. Yes, you do.
Yes. And there was an animated movie cartoon.
That's just the way you try you're not gonna catch me off guard this time, my friend. I am on point.
The animated series.
I know.
Multiple. He's like a freaking box, for Christ's sake. But yeah, which is good because this is a film that probably didn't require him to be ripped. So you can only imagine what he's going to look like for Batman. So if you're afraid that he's going to be standing next to, and this is going to be terrible because I can't remember the guy who's playing Superman now. Do you off the top of your head?
No.
Okay. The guy who's playing Superman, the guy who looks like a...
Easy socks.
The guy who plays Superman right now, who's looks like a tank right now. If you were afraid that Ben Affleck wasn't going to really match him, don't worry.
Here's one thing I'm concerned with.
What's that?
Every time I've ever seen Batman and Superman together, they're either the same height or Batman's a little shorter. I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck is taller than Superboy.
That's actually been brought up quite a bit because he would tower over Superman in this one. That's easily solved just by having, I don't know,
Ben Affleck, stand back 4 steps. Perfect.
Or yeah, just have the Superman stand on a box or float. He's Superman. But and you give the impression that he's a little taller. It's great. Or you don't film them together.
Green screen it. Why do we have Metropolis and have Gotham in the background and they're supposed to be standing next to each other? They're that fast.
It's like you see Superman punch off camera and then it cuts to Batman in the fist. We work out great.
There's no hitting.
So far for the town we've talked about is Ben Affleck is really buff. That's going great.
Now you talked about Ben Affleck being buff.
Okay, well what did you like?
Don't throw me in this.
Okay.
I wasn't checking Ben Affleck out. No, the town was great. He did a great job with the boxing accent. See, look at that boxing. What's up with boxing?
It's a boxing accent, yo.
You got the hopper. Anyways, no, he did really well with the Boston accent, and I think he's from Boston, I'm pretty sure.
My wife thought he sounded like Adam Sandler, so he did a great job.
Especially considering Adam was from New Hampshire, which she also pointed out.
Indeed.
Debunking her first comment. But no, I mean, and again, it shows that he, got into the character.
He did.
And you need people like that when you do a hero character.
Exactly, which, most people wouldn't think is a big deal, but like he was just about to say, he's going to throw himself into Bruce Wayne. He's going to become Batman, which is great.
That's right.
All right. Let's see, what else did I like?
Oh, you also forgot to mention one thing about this movie.
What's that?
In the town, Ben Affleck can handle a gun. Now, with that information, you can go back to the original Batman when he first came around and was shooting people with guns and using Robin as a decoy. Robin, go down there and run around with your bright outfit. Yeah, so everybody sees you. That's why Robin has a bright outfit, people. Because back in the day, your so-called hero Batman used this little twerp to run around and pull people out of the shadows, and he shoot at them with a gun. I am Batman. Hasta la vista, baby. What?
And he has to actually make this sound effect with his mouth. But
hey, he did. You know why?
Why?
Because he's batty.
He's batty. Oh God. I want them to actually release a trailer where it's showing him as Batman for the first time and he's using guns just to fuck with the internet. It's like, oh, they don't like me playing Batman, huh?
I have some bad bullets.
I told them there was a bad idea. But it's just watching him put himself into the role. Ben Affleck. It's easy to forget he is a great actor. And
well, it's easy to forget because he's thrown into some really crappy roles.
it's easy to forget because I keep imagining him from Mallrats, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but here's the problem. That was like one of his first, movies. That was like back in the day, and
I think his first role was Good Will Hunting.
no, Mallrats came out way before Good Will Hunting.
You sure? Okay. We may have to look that up later. Don't worry. But I continue.
I'm saying it did. Robert Williams was still playing Mork from Mork and Mindy back then. No.
It wasn't that old, Jesus.
No, but it sounded good though, right? People are like, what the hell's Mork and Mindy? Who the hell's Robert Williams?
No one knows what Mork and Mindy is,
It's a sitcom, people. Back when sitcoms were real. Unlike this reality TV crap you people watch. You know what reality TV crap is? It's TV. You know it's not reality TV? Reality.
I would say go watch Nick at Night and see it, but you know what's on Nick at Night now? Friends.
I know, right?
What the fuck?
It's when you know you're getting old, or no one is watching it because they put it on late at night. Now, not to be rude, when you put something on late at night that for people that are like in their 50s and 60s, who are going to bed at 9 o'clock, and you're putting this stuff on at like 11, yeah, you're not going to have viewers. You know why? Because they're not up. Put that crap on at 4 in the morning when they wake up naturally. When I get my alarm going off and I'm like hitting it like 60 million times because I don't want to get up that early, these people are up and drinking their coffee like, yep, can't sleep no more. I'm up for good. What? When I get that old man, if I'm not using my alarm clock, I'm taking like NyQuil. Put myself back to sleep.
This is the worst conversation of why Ben Affleck should be Batman ever. But
well, no, it's not. We're just going off on track here.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's only because we both agree that we think that Ben Affleck can do Batman now.
Now, before we saw these movies back to back, were you on board with it?
No.
Yeah. So,
but to be honest, again, DC, not really gonna be like, oh no.
They're not batting 1,000. No, they're quite the opposite.
We're gonna make a Justice League movie. Great, who's gonna be in it? Doesn't matter. It's gonna be Justice League. Sweet. You're gonna release movies like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman doesn't need her own movie. She's not that big of a character.
There is a Lobo movie in the works. They're gonna release Lobo before Wonder Woman. That's not setting your priorities straight there, DC. Come on.
Especially because, not to be rude, Lobo back in the day was like this really big comic thing, but I haven't heard a lot of ruckus about Lobo in recent days.
He was great back in Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah, he was goofy though. They made a goofball in those things. It's like Gene Simmons, the comic book character.
But going back to that, let's discuss, since we're discussing it here and now, and pretty much we've come to the conclusion, you know what, he's going to do fine, cool down. I have to say, I think it's a mistake that they're jumping right to Batman versus Superman. To me, that reeks desperation.
No, to me, you know what that reads to me?
What does that read to you?
DC.
Oh.
Only in DC can you have a man stronger than any force known to the world be taken down by a man who can add 450 million times 450 million in 3 seconds. Yes, I'm incredibly smart. I have no super strength, no super speed, no super anything, but I can take down the most powerful being in the world because I can think.
Okay, there's more to it than that.
The only character DC has that has any credibility is Batman. Before the Green Lantern. But hang on, alright, here's the Green Lantern, here's all his powers and abilities. Sweet, who can we use to combat the Green Lantern? Same thing, yellow. Bam! Genius!
There's a little more to it.
No, there's not. Sorry, that's how it came out in the thing, I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
DC's can't make, Marvel's characters, the heroes are either on par or weaker than the villain counterpart, and they always have to struggle to do it. Besides Batman, DC world, I don't really have that thing with the characters unless they use the characters wait a minute, Power Girl? She's like Supergirl. That's a great addition to the Marvel universe, the DC universe. Let's go ahead and add her. It's just, there's no, here's a great superhero. Sweet! What about the villain? A super ball. What?
What?
It just bounces around really fast. That will be the Flash's new enemy. No. What if we take the Flash, reverse his colors, and call him Professor Zoom? And he does the same thing as the Flash. Just like in the Green Lantern. It worked for Green Lantern, why not the Flash? Genius!
You know, when you talk about it like that, it is kind of humorous. But
Wait, Superman. We need somebody who's strong as Superman. Luthor's good, but we need somebody who's strong as Superman, because this fat kid keeps complaining that we're not even strong. What can we do? Can we create a super being? Something that's good like Superman? Dude, another Superman from an alternate universe? Call him Bizarro. Same powers as Superman. Just a little cracky in the head. Looks zombie-ish. Bam! Dude, we are coming up with these villains like awesome.
going back to my issue here, and we'll compare it to Marvel here. Marvel understands good booking.
Yes.
They came out first with Iron Man. To be honest, I didn't care about Iron Man up until that movie, and then I saw that movie and I was like, you know what, Iron Man's cool. I thought the same thing for Iron Man 2. Then they came out with Hulk, and I already thought Hulk was cool, but now I thought he was badass. Then came Thor, and then Captain America, who I thought for sure I wasn't going to care about, but I bought the movie ticket anyway, and you know what? They're cool too. And then they come out and say, you know what? They're all going to be in a movie together. And I'm like, that's freaking badass. You've made me care about every single one of them. Now I want to see them. And now, DC, like some dumb child who just can't wait to open his toys, they're just going to say, and then Batman comes and... It's like, okay, Superman, you made me hate the guy. Let's be perfectly frank. He killed at least 100,000 people with that freaking fight.
But he cared about the last 4.
Oh.
It was the last 4 that counted, man.
Those last 4 could have just stepped to the left and they would have been fine. Jesus Christ.
You can't. It wasn't in their contract. They didn't get paid to move. Just cower in fear.
It's like, so far you've shown Superman to be this dummy who doesn't know how to manage his own powers. And then you're going to introduce this new guy called Batman in a situation where you would think he would have to go over just so, because it's essentially a new actor, new role.
Well, here's another problem with it. Alright, Batman's main weapon against Superman is kryptonite. They never even touched on kryptonite in the new Batman.
Maybe when the ship crashes?
No, but they didn't touch on it at all. Like, there's no sign of weakness in Superman. And you're going to throw him into a fight where he's going to get that weakness used against him. And it's like, he's going to be like, oh, I'm so weak right now. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, it's in the script. See, it's kryptonite. What the hell is kryptonite? It wasn't in the last movie. That's because we didn't think about it.
I know. He downloads his space dad onto his bat computer. And the space dad tells him how to defeat
on the bat phone.
No, bat computer's more impressive. Though I suppose you could get the app for space dad. Oh, what were we talking about?
But no, I mean, look at all the characters that DC has made in the movies. There's not one character that people can get behind. Superman. They need to make another movie with the same character. They need to, that's the problem. Superman's been so many people after Christopher Reeves. 2 people. But 2 people too many. That last one before this, Superman Returns. Here's a guy who gets his power from our sun. Not by the sun where Krypton used to be. This dude flies out to where Krypton used to be. Now, he should not have powers. He should not be able to fly. He didn't bring us, anything. But yet he flew out there, came back, no problem. If there was Krypton out there, the dude would be like, I can't breathe. I'm in space. I'm weak. And here he has a kid on Earth, and he's like, oh, that's a great dad. Great role model. Then let's, all right, we won't put the kid in this next one. We'll go back in time. Now let's have him kill a whole bunch of people. Yeah! Who's writing these Superman movies? And then you got, like, the Green Lantern movie, right? I like Ryan Reynolds as an actor. I didn't think he did that bad of an acting job.
I didn't think he was that bad either.
But it just, they don't build on any of the character. There was nothing in the Green Lantern that made me want to be like, oh my god, Hal Jordan is awesome. No, it didn't, It didn't invoke me into wanting to, like, oh, Hal Jordan. I'm like, oh, it's Ryan Reynolds. They used Ryan, they knew they were getting Ryan Reynolds, so they kind of wrote the script towards him. You know, and I've always said, if you got people who don't know how to act, you write the script like that person. That way they don't have to act, they just be normal. Well, he's an actor. You don't, yeah, Hal Jordan is goofy and all this other stuff, but it didn't feel like, you know, the comic book character. I wasn't connecting with him. I was connecting with Ryan Reynolds as an actor in his past movies. And there was nothing in there that made me like go, oh my god, the Green Lantern is amazing.
Well, regardless of how Man of Steel 2, but yes, believe it or not, he's coming in for Man of Steel 2, which makes no sense. But regardless on how Man of Steel is written, one thing's for sure, if it's a bad movie, it's not going to be Ben Affleck's fault.
That's right.
Indeed, give Ben Affleck a chance. Alright, folks, that does it for Ben Affleck Day. Give him a chance. Next week, because we're such great buddies, next week is going to be Buddy Movie. And so, we'll be reviewing not only Lethal Weapon, but 21 Jump Street.
That's right. Not the TV series, the new movie.
Indeed, even though there's a little bit of old TV series in there.
Well, some of the actors, yes.
Yes.
Even though another great buddy movie of mine that I would think would be awesome. Can you guess?
No, it's not Batman and Superman.
No, God.
Ooh.
Bad Boys.
Ooh. Bad Boys.
We'll keep you guessing on that last one.
Lisa. Alright, folks. We'll see you next week. Later.
Same bat time, same Affleck channel.
Ooh.